put me first?
You just are.
Luke is number one.
Okay, first up we have Luke.
No, let this fly.
Yeah.
No. Do you have any freshman year pictures of me?
Freshman year pictures? Isn't this freshman year? Brandon. Oh no, this is your sophomore year. Brandon. This one is sophomore year.
Wait, where did you get this one from?
Your Instagram.
Screenshot my Instagram.
Oh, thank you.
Ready?
Oh, you're recording? Oh, that's not going to help. But okay, I'll let it be. I guess I'll tell you a bit of a story. I didn't really prepare for this speech. I didn't feel like I really needed to because it was going to sound boring and monotone. So, how I got into the Key Club is actually a very funny story. So, I think this was the second week of school, and my mom said like she saw something. She must have heard it from parents because she said something about Key Club, and she's like, "You should go to an event in Chinatown." And I'm like, "Oh, but
Yeah.
oh, but I don't know anyone there, and I don't have any friends there." And as soon as I got to the event, I just saw a bunch of people volunteering in a bunch of tents, and I didn't know what to do. And it happened to be better Chinatown. So I was really nervous, so I called her and I was like, "Hey Mom, I'm not sure if I can do this event. I don't know anybody here." She's like, "Just go try it out for 30 minutes and then you can come home." I'm like, "Fine, 30 minutes. I went to sign up at the tent, and immediately I was pulled aside by an elderly man. He's like, "You, I need you to go to the store and get garbage bags, $20, $10, go with them, $20. And he's like, asked me again, I said a bunch of things. And I'm like, okay, I guess I have to go help get garbage bags and ice. And I ended up having a really fun time at that event, dressing up as Snoopy and walking down the Better Chinatown Parade. And it's just been, an instinctual drive to sort of sign up for these events. And for me, I don't know what really got me so into it. Maybe it was the time with people I have never met before that turned out to be such awesome people in my life. And maybe it was also reconnecting with old friends and, having good talk while we did our service projects. I've had so many memorable events over the past 4 years now. I never thought I would make it to be a senior and be talking to you guys about senior life. So most of you I think are underclassmen, if that's right. So it's a bit of advice for you guys. Don't continue doing Key Club for the hours. Do it because you want to do it. Go to the events that you want to go to. And if no friends are going to an event, that's the perfect opportunity to meet new people. I wouldn't have met so many awesome people in my life if I just didn't push myself. I was a very different person in freshman year, and I think Key Club was a really major shaping force in my life, as long as the beautiful people I met in Key Club. If you knew me freshman year, I was much shorter, much more annoying. Much more annoying. Steven can testify. Much more annoying, and kind of a prick. I mean, I can be a little bit iffy on this, but Key Club kind of taught me, alright, this is how you're supposed to act. And it was kind of a way to get to meet more people. So that's what Key Club really is to me. And to be honest, it should be something different for everyone. It could be, it could be a way to go outside more. It could be a way to get fit. It could be a way to enjoy yourself. It could be a way to get away from home. It could be a way to see parts of the city that you would never have seen before. I realized the diversity of New York City, not only from, the people, but the events I went to, the different neighborhoods I went to. Everything was so different in every single neighborhood I went to. I kind of found it amazing how so many people could coexist in such a small but densely packed city. My favorite event, I guess I'll talk about. Okay, there's too many lists. Damn, I'm kind of stuck. Does anyone have any questions? I didn't want to go first. I didn't want to go first. Does anybody have any questions?
In what ways were you annoying as a freshman?
Oh,
Enlighten us.
okay.
Enlighten us.
All right, I'll be honest here. I kind of didn't really get social cues, and I kind of didn't really have good humor. Yeah, I'm not sure if I do now, but I definitely didn't have good humor. And Key Club helped me kind of build that because it gave me a non-judgmental environment to sort of, you know, explore who I really was in. And honestly, my college essay was about Key Club and service. Because my mom didn't want me to write about trains, but we're not going to go there. My Key Club, my college essay was about doing it for the good of volunteering and not for the credit, because you know a lot of people would emphasize I need credit for this, that, and that, and I just saw it as something, you know, fun. And that's what you sort of have to internalize to enjoy Key Club as much as me. And I want everyone here to eventually come out with the mindset that I had a really good time at Key Club and I didn't waste time, and the reason my back is aching is because I gave others a great time at that event yesterday. Whether it was, you know, lifting some boxes so someone can get to eat tonight, or it was, you know, yelling at the top of your lungs at an event, or drinking 5 cans of energy drinks with 1,500 milligrams of caffeine in your body. Okay, point aside is, you do have to enjoy Key Club if you really want to stay in it and stay, you know, just healthy overall. And that's how I sort of found my outlet, my way to escape, you know, any of the troubles I had at home, any of the troubles I had with friends. You know, I could just go outside and do something and be active. A bit of advice: Bronx Science, as much as people say the mental health here is bad, it's bad at a lot of high schools, but it also is bad here, and we have to recognize that. And it's important for you guys to find sort of outlets to escape. Whether that be anything you want, but Key Club was my outlet. That's what I wanted to like make clear, because you guys made it that way. All of you made it that way. You know, the way you treated me, the way I was accepted, and you know, the way I got to help others. So these things. Shiya.
How do you feel now that you're...
Oh, I feel really sad. I'm not ready because my friend kind of told me 2 days ago that I had like less than 3 weeks left in the building, and I kind of didn't realize that, and it's really, really sad. So where I'm going to college next year, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Not sure how many of you guys have heard of it, but they have a Circle K there, and I will be joining. I think I'll also be joining the radio club there, and I think I'll be making my own club. I'll let you guys take a guess what it's going to be. But I am really sad that I'm leaving, but it's like kind of like a bittersweet feeling. I'm grateful that I had such a great time at school. I like school. I like the UP club, and you know, I really wouldn't change it because I wouldn't have learned so many things. Yeah. But I'm also excited for college. Excited. Yeah, it's an exciting time. Okay. I saw a hand, yes.
Yeah, this is just a comment. Until you said that our school has really bad mental health care, I didn't realize we even have mental health care.
Okay, mental health care in this school could involve going to guidance, but also you have to find something really for yourself. Like,
The thing is, I don't feel like this school actually care about mental health. I don't think this school actually cares about
there are
mental
good people, but it often doesn't show because the way that things have to be done by a system, like for college, you have to have grades are standardized, everything is standardized. There's work and work and work and work. And oftentimes you have to find your own ways to make your own like sort of little escape outlet. Honestly, frankly, watching YouTube for like 3 hours for me wasn't working, so I decided I had to do something about it and get active. Yeah.
What was your least favorite Key Club if you had one?
Oh. Least favorite. Probably the ones where I didn't really talk or get to do anything. But honestly, least favorite. Okay, this was in the rain, and I had no one to go with, and I think it was just me and this other school. And I tried to talk to them, but they were all seniors, and they were all talking about a physics test, so I really didn't have anything to do. So I kind of just went home and didn't really. Yeah. Bentley.
Hi. What was like the most embarrassing moment you've ever had in Key Club?
So you want me to recount the most embarrassing moment I've had
Absolutely.
up here in front of you guys?
Here at school.
At school?
Or let me specify. Whatever you choose, like
The
add a
fire?
name or like a candle.
Candle?
A lighter.
Alright. Bit of a tangent. The reason why I got such a good relationship with my guidance counselor is because of an incident that kind of occurred. You guys are young, so you don't know who this person is. A few of the seniors will know. There's a person who shall not be named, who was very big into certain hardcore drugs. And I happened to be sitting in the hallway with my friends at this time. And he went into the bathroom, and he came out of the bathroom, obviously on some form of mind-altering substance, which you guys should never try. But he came out of the bathroom, and he looked at me, and he's like, "Hey, you!" And I'm like, "I don't know this kid before. I've never seen him in my life." And he's like, "Do you want to see fire, buddy?" And he takes out a lighter and tries to light my hair on fire. And that was really. Wait, the story is not done. The story's not done. I run away. I'm like, "Yo, dude, back off!" Like, he comes closer, starts flicking the lighter again. So I run into a teacher's classroom, and I'm panting. And the teacher's like, "You're disrupting my class. Give me your ID so I can report you to the dean." And then I'm like, okay, I was too stunned to speak. So my favorite teacher, Mr. McNichol at the time when I was a freshman, I had him for biology. And I'm like, who do I go to? Who do I trust? So I went to him and his SGI. And I'm like, "Mr. McNichol, and that's as far as I got before I started crying. Like really hard, because I had never been sent to the dean before. And I was just attacked, and yeah, I was blamed. So he's like, "Oh, go to the dean. I'll go with you right now, and we'll kind of discuss what happened." I went down to the dean's office, and the deans were like, they had my ID. It's like, "This you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, we saw on the security cameras that some kid chased you with a lighter." "Yeah, so you're not in trouble." Oh, okay, yeah. So that was kind of my most embarrassing moment, but honestly, the most embarrassing part came after, when people were like, "Why did you snitch on him?" And I kind of didn't snitch on him because the security camera saw everything. So that's my most embarrassing moment. But anyway, the point of this is just enjoy what you do, because you never know where it'll get you. Yeah, and also for college, I'm gonna stress this: go somewhere that gives you money. College is mad expensive. Like I got scholarship, and for room and board and everything, it's $50K a year. So it's still expensive. So yeah, just go somewhere that gives you money. All right.
I forgot to introduce Luke when he came out, but this past year he was a member. He's going to RTI. We have Aaron Yu. Past year, Aaron was the district's external executive assistant, and he's going to Stony Brook University.
Hey guys, I'm Aaron. Some of you guys probably know me because like I've talked in front a few times. I didn't prepare a speech or anything, even though Shiya asked me to, but it is what it is. And I joined Key Club in like October of my freshman year, so I'm probably like one of the oldest members here. But like at that time, there was someone else named Aaron. His name was Aaron Wu. I'm Aaron Yu, so it's quite a coincidence. But him and his entire friend group really like drew me into Key Club, and at the start I was really scared, as like a lot of people were, but it was really goofy. This guy, we did karaoke while doing a breast cancer walk, so it turned kind of like a serious thing into something more fun and chill. Yeah, that's kind of like how I joined. But freshman year I had like 200 hours, but now I'm kind of a bit not as much. So that's kind of my fault, but quarantine is quarantine and things happen. But I think I'll talk about more my experiences as like running as someone with a position. But Key Club really I had the most ups and downs and failures of my life. I think freshman year I was so confident. I had an entire roadmap in my head about how Key Club was gonna go so smoothly. Get nominated for an award, get this position. I wanted to be projects co-head at the time, and I was really, really invested. I really thought I deserved it. I didn't get it. But after that, I ended up like, as a freshman, I ended up like rage running for external executive assistant district. And as you can expect, my application was absolutely terrible. Like I looked at it again and I just laughed at it. But after that, I was without a position for my sophomore year, and I ran against like 4 other people, including Loretta, for, what was it? Oh, it was secretary, yeah. I ran for secretary and I once again didn't get it. And I was really disappointed in myself again. And honestly, I read off my phone a little bit, so it was kind of bad, but I like didn't give up. I think a lot of people, we had so many more people like from my year before like now, but a lot of them dropped Key Club because they didn't get a position. So I ran for a divisional executive assistant, and I knew Freya, who was the lieutenant governor at the time. I knew her from events, and that was like kind of the perks of being such an active member, is that you really got to know so many people from outside of your school and outside of your grade. So that's a big perk, because throughout my high school, I know that a lot of people like struggled to know like good teachers and like good what classes to take. I still made really bad choices in taking classes, which I regret now. But like I know a lot of the upperclassmen like really helped me out, and I also got to know so many just outside of club people, like Bayside, Dozo, Francis Lewis. I got to know some people that from like my elementary school that joined Key Club. It was really cool. But like Freya, she knew me, and she knew that I was like pretty hardworking. So she also wanted to like, the plan at the time was she'll train me as executive assistant to be the next lieutenant governor for D11. And I did a lot of the work because they had like senioritis and stuff. But I clearly didn't learn my lesson from being from running for secretary, because I read off my phone again for lieutenant governor and I didn't get the position, which is like, oh, surprise, surprise. But I really like, honestly, I think I had like good qualifications at the time, so it was completely my fault that I bombed it. But once again, I didn't stop, and I ran for district. Well, I didn't really have a choice at the time because that's all that was left. But district, it may seem like an enigma to you guys. Like, it's really daunting, right? You're a state level executive. I can tell you right now, what I did was probably like half of what Loretta was doing. And like that's like cutting out the 8-hour meeting on a Saturday in Albany, which was completely paid for by the district, by the way. But like, just our club is like a special exception. So I want like all of you guys to just think about like what is happening outside of our club and like the opportunities outside of there. If you like run next year, maybe you're a co-head now, you're like just a member, or even just like anything, and you don't get, let's say you run for webmaster, or you run for secretary, you run for VP, you don't get it. It's not the end of the world. You can run for divisional, you can run for district, all those things. They really like, at that point, they really just consider your qualifications and how much work you put into your application more than anything else. Because like, you may know everyone here, but outside of here, if you're not active, no one knows you. So you guys should just like take the leap of faith and do that. As I can talk about my experience as a district board member. First of all, I got this nice windbreaker. I paid a lot for it, but it looks nice, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what else is there? Oh, I made a spreadsheet. I actually I took credit for making it, but a lot of people helped me with it. But that was like a thing, and I as district external executive assistant, I used it to like track all the different lieutenant governors. So like Abigail, her predecessor Melanie, I would like give her grades and everything for that. But if you're thinking about running for like lieutenant governor or something like that, or you can ask her, she knows. But anything else, like all the executive board positions, you can just like message me anytime and I can tell you about all of them. Just don't be too intimidated by them, because it's not that bad. district also has its perks. You get your little like trips to Albany, all your food, hotels and stuff is all paid for. You get free merch, like a meager amount, but you do get free merch. Yeah, that's about that. You get to work with people outside of your club and all that, so it's really cool. If you guys have any questions about like anything specific or my specific volunteering experiences, you can ask me that too. I don't know how much time I got left. 3 minutes. Okay.
How did Key Club change you?
How did Key Club change me?
How did you change Key Club?
Wait, what?
How did Key Club change you and how did you change Key Club?
I did not change Key Club one bit.
No?
No. Yeah, I wanted to at one point. It didn't work out because I ended up like becoming really lazy over quarantine. So that's like a different story. So Key Club changed me as a freshman. I was like, really? I had no public speaking skills. Okay, I was an incel. It was terrible. It was terrible. I had to muster up like all I had to go to Central Park for the first time ever and go to the breast cancer walk. And then I got to know like at that time I thought I was so cool because I hung out with sophomores. Like I wasn't, but I got to like learn a lot about like public speaking. Like I'm talking right now. I didn't prepare a speech. That public speaking, I'm a lot less shy, and I'm like willing to just go out and do things now. Which I mean, I also use the upperclassmen for like academic benefit. Like some of them gave me answers for oh, never mind.
No, it's okay.
But that's that. What time is that? All right, next. Anyone? I'm like, there's 1 minute 40, yeah? Okay. All right, Luke.
What are you excited for in college?
What am I excited for? I'm not joining Circle K. Circle K, actually, join Circle K if you want to, but Circle K, in my opinion, feels like different from Key Club. There's a lot less of like the innocence and fun of it.
What do you mean? What's not innocent?
Like, we have... that is a big no for me.
Wait, what?
I'll tell you about it later.
Good afternoon. Attention.
This experiences I had at Key Club, and like every club has its ups and downs. I think Key Club has really been like something pivotal in my high school journey. Like, yeah, stay in Key Club. If you want to. If you want to.
Laura! She's our past bulletin editor and webmaster, and she's going to the University of Washington, Seattle. You can thank Loretta's Instagram.
I'll send you pictures of Loretta. Don't worry. I already have. I have more. I do not prepare anything like the other people.
Bruh.
So I don't really know what to say, except that Key Club has helped me through a lot, especially during quarantine, which is like, I know not a lot of other people's experiences, because they're like volunteering online, that's boring, which it was boring, but like being able to go to like meetings online and like interact with other people while I didn't like leave my room for like 5, 6, 7 plus months was like very like helpful and like very like, I don't know, very like meaningful to like my like quarantine experience of like having really bad mental health. I got to meet Shiya. I got to meet mostly Shiya. I got to get closer with the old board, and I got to like, I don't know, like reconnect with other people. I like really did not prepare anything. So yeah. Yes.
How did Key Club change you?
Key Club. I don't think Key Club changed me that much.
Who did you meet during Key Club that impacted you most?
Who did I meet?
Yeah.
I met Shiya.
Tell us more about our president.
Huh?
Tell us more about our president.
Oh, our president, Loretta. Oh, she got me into Key Club. She and Jessica, because my brother, I have an older brother who is a senior when I was a freshman. He had a girlfriend who was in Key Club. He didn't want me to meet his girlfriend, I think. That's what I suspect. So he told me not to join Key Club because he said all the nerdy Asian kids were in Key Club. So I didn't join freshman year, but like I saw Loretta and Jessica go to like all these different events and have a lot of fun. They went to Better Chinatown. They like went to like Japan Day and like Passport to Taiwan. So like I saw them have a lot of fun. So in sophomore year I joined. I think my first event was with Loretta and Luke, and at like an NYSOM thing. I was really bad PMSing, so I was like I was really mean to Luke and I left early. Just to say, like, you don't need to stay the whole time during Key Club events if you're not feeling well, or if you're feeling like really cold and shivering, like Better Chinatown. But yeah, like I don't know, I was able to get a lot closer with Loretta and like Jessica. I was able to meet like Luke. I was able to meet a lot of other people, and like Luke said, I was able to explore a lot of New York City. Like before Key Club, I don't think I really liked to venture outside of my apartment willingly. But after, like, one of my favorite events was with Jessica. We went to a park cleanup in Sunset Park, which was a neighborhood that like I really wanted to like visit one day. And we were able to go to like a lot of like Mexican stores that Jessica like showed me around, and also Sunset has like that Chinatown on 8th Avenue. So it was really fun to explore like an area that like is very, very far away and that I never would have gone to in the first place. So all that to say, like, if you don't really like to go outside of your neighborhood or outside of your house or apartment, like go to Key Club, purposely go to Key Club events that are like 2 hours away or like really far away, because you get to like explore neighborhoods and explore places and meet people that you'll like have never have met in the first place. Yeah, Finley.
Can you talk about how your obsession with bread became like a part of Key Club?
I don't think it became a part of Key Club. Over quarantine, I like started baking sourdough, and like sourdough, like you are on the sourdough schedule, not your own. So I would like be making bread in the middle of my online classes and like pulling bread out of the oven in the middle of a test. And like during meetings, I would be like making sure I like fed my starter, because you have to feed it twice a day. It's a very pampered like little child. Steven would know. And yeah, like I would just like sourdough in like school helped me like maintain a schedule during quarantine when like you could just sleep until like 2 p.m. and like go to bed at like 6 a.m. So like yeah, I'm not very sentimental speaker. Yes, questions, comments, concerns.
Tell us about the first event and your first impression.
I partially blame my PMS, but I was like very intolerant of anyone. Also Loretta too, and there was a lot of kids, and like I don't do well with like a group of like 50 little children.
We were the same age.
No, like little kids. Oh yeah. Like the event was like an NYSOM like happy holiday like fair thing. It was a little bit chaotic. I got to meet people from other schools that I didn't really like because they were kind of mean. But it was like really fun too, because I was able to like make little crafts with kids, and like even though I left early, I don't know, it was like a very nice experience to like have my first Key Club meeting. Also like I really enjoyed, this is very disjointed, I really liked Key Club because like I remember the ice skating fundraiser like right before COVID hit. I remember just like feeling like, oh, you could do an extracurricular and have fun, because I was in debate too. So like the juxtaposition between Key Club and debate was quite big. And like debate like saps all your happiness, but like Key Club makes you like happy. So
Talk about college and what you're gonna miss.
I'm gonna miss New York City. Like Key Club was a big part of like me being able to like explore the city and go like to new places. So I'm really gonna miss that, because I also like haven't been to like a lot of areas like Queens and the Bronx and Brooklyn and Staten Island, I guess. But I'll miss New York City a lot. I'll miss the people too. But also like I'm moving to like all the way to the other coast, very purposely. I wanted to like have a like new, like a fresh start. So yeah, I'm like very excited, but also very nervous. I think it's down now.
It's cold up there.
It's not cold. It's raining.
It's really cold.
It's not that cold. It's just really.
Laura, you definitely could have made that sentiment.
Oh.
Steven was our past treasurer, and he's going off to Brown University.
Yeah.
Just a quick note, I'm like genuinely concerned that baby Steven knows how to dress better than like now.
Yes, he probably does. Well, that's what my mom. Anyway. Okay, so I also did not prepare anything, but because the last time that the seniors did a farewell speech, we were actually freshmen, and I forgot his name, but I remember him like mentioning about how like I had Miss Daly in chemistry that year, and I remember him talking about how he had Miss Daly freshman year and all this like sentimental senior things, and I think it was just really funny. I was thinking like, oh, these guys are so old that like that it's gonna be forever until I become a senior, and I think that mindset was what kind of went with me throughout like freshman and sophomore year, and then like the pandemic hit, and now it's 2022, and now we're going off to college. So I think it's just kind of unbelievable to think that that journey is so impactful, but it also went by really, really quickly. My journey into Key Club, I had no clue what Key Club was when I came into Bronx Science, but I remember during the club fair, Duke had just bought like 55 boxes of fries from Ned, and he gave me one. That was my first time I had Ned's fries, and I was walking, and I think it was Megan. I saw her with her like giant Key Club poster, and she was like join Key Club, and I was like sure, and then she said it was on Thursdays, and like my dad had given me like a list of like clubs to like make sure that I was like academically prepared and whatever. So like Key Club I guess wasn't on his list, but like Key Club in that list, Key Club was like the only club I actually like stayed in, because that was the club that I guess I had decided that I wanted to do. So I went to the first meeting. I didn't really know anybody, but I remember it was the Harlem Grown event. I remember the day. It was October 27th, 2018, because it was the first time I ever was going to go on like a train. It was the 2 train, and I remember my mom. It's like a sentimental thing in my family that day. So my mom had like, she was gonna make she had made food, and she was like, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going to a volunteer event in Harlem," and she was kind of worried, but she said it was all right for me to go. So I remember it was pouring horribly, but I remember I had signed up, and I wasn't just going to like cancel on them. So I decided to go anyway. I didn't go with anyone because I didn't really know anyone in Key Club. And then I went. I came there an hour early, and then the people tell us that we didn't actually know you were coming. Like, 1, we don't know what Key Club is, and 2, we didn't know we were gonna have student volunteers. So it was like an urban like greenhouse. So they had like kind of like a hydroponic system outside, and then a garden outside, and then like a hydroponic system inside. So they kind of so here I am like soaking wet, like kind of upset that I just came all the way from the Bronx, and I'm not doing any like volunteer stuff. But then like after like it was like the time that the event started, I think Dan, who was a senior, he was our project captain, and then a bunch of other people came, and I guess they also didn't have anything to do because they weren't expecting student volunteers. So I guess they toured us around the garden, and they like gave us some Swiss chard to take home. It was like, so I guess it kind of had a nice ending. But the really cool thing was that actually, like Jeffrey, Emily's sister, he was there. He's one of my closest friends to this day, and we walked home together, and we took the train together. And I think it's kind of like an important thing that like, a lot of times you go to Key Club events, you don't go with anybody, but a lot of times you come back home, you go home together with like a new friend, and that friend can be like a lifelong friend. So I think that is kind of like the message of Key Club in and of itself, that like you are forming this community every time you go to like a new event. So like I think after that, after like meeting people who were in Key Club, and also I remember Bosco, he was in my engineering class. He also encouraged me to go to a lot of Key Club events, and then throughout that time, I eventually started going. Sometimes I kind of like slacked off and didn't go, and then I went to Water Wars, and yeah, then I met like Luke and so many other people, and it was really awesome. And I was just really happy to have been. It was so fun. We were like pieing people. Like, I guess this is like, you guys are going to be able to experience Water Wars, which is really nice. But yeah, they were like pieing people in the face and dunking gallons of water on them. I think that was just so amazing to see the community raise so much money while having a great time. And I think that part of that, I guess, is what encouraged me to continue doing Key Club till sophomore year. And I remember, I think I had like enough points to be able to go to LTC in freshman year. And I remember specifically saying that, I have sophomore, junior, and senior year to go to LTC, so I don't need to sign up. That's not true. So yeah, I guess that's what happened. But then sophomore year hit, I didn't do too many Key Club events, but I did get more involved, and Luke was in one of my classes, and then I guess we got much closer. We were in research together.
No.
Yes, Luke was very interesting in that class. But anyway, so by sophomore year, I guess then the pandemic hit, and I think I guess I was, because Key Club had kind of been like my escape from like sometimes like houses like so claustrophobic that it's just nice to like go out and like meet people and do so many nice things. I remember just let me know if I'm running out of time. But anyway, the Calvary birthday hospital party, that was an event that we used to have every month where we'd go to called Calvary Hospital in the Bronx and basically talk to these old patients who are on hospice who are only gonna have a few months to live on their birthday, and like talk to them. And I think it's just so amazing to see like these people. You might be in one of the last happy memories that they'll ever have when they're not necessarily in too much pain. And I just think it's really beautiful to see how they were like talking to us about their experiences and all that really nice stuff. And I think that was really touching. I think that was what really motivated me to apply to as projects co-head in sophomore year, because like I wanna like also like help find these really cool events. And I think then like the pandemic hit, and I think that in the beginning it wasn't too rough, but then I think that when my mental health tanked, I think that Key Club was kind of the thing that it was really nice to like not have to think about like school and like family and stuff, but also it kind of did get a little stressful. So I think that it was like this balance that I had to learn to maintain. But I think one of the high points of that was like our like virtual meetings, and like all like after the meetings where like Ms. Daly and Mr. Milik would like give us advice, and then we could like talk about things from like complaining about like Eric Adams or something. So yeah, I think it's always important to like.
That was this year.
I guess that was this year. My memory from 2020 is kind of gone, but I think it's really nice to think about like the more nicer times and otherwise bad experiences, because all the people that we help who are like volunteering, who are sometimes at like the lowest points of their lives, they're also trying to make the best of like such a rough situation. So I think it's also important for us not to always like pity them, but to instead like offer empathy and try to help them instead of like making them feel worse. But but anyway, I think that all my experiences of like making new friends and just meeting all these amazing people throughout New York City, and I think that like Key Club not only like opened my eyes to the city, but also like encouraged me to come out of the bubble that I was in, and like I guess like take the train more, like visit New York City, and also like talk to new people and all that nice stuff. And I think that's what really Key Club is about. I think it's about not only changing the city, but also changing who you are and changing your mindset. And I think that as treasurer, it was nice to see how that worked from like behind like all the little small things that the members really don't even know about, but they're really integral into ensuring that the club and all the events that we do are really successful. So I think that's what I'm really gonna miss about Key Club. I think it's the friends that I made, but also just like the community of like being able to see a bunch of really hardworking like high schoolers who are coming and actually think and know that they can make a difference. So that's on my 10 probably. Yeah.
Next we have William. He was this year's past vice president. He's going off to Gary Girl. Did you get this?
I did.
Wow. The only one.
Well, listen, since everybody else isn't gonna, read from a speech, it's like cheating if I do, so.
No, read your speech.
Don't read.
Yeah, no, I sat on it, because everyone was trying to read it, so. Alright, so, wait, actually, let me just. Okay. So, hi guys, my name is William Wu, and I served as the immediate past vice president for this club, and I was treasurer 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and then before that, projects co-head. So I've been in this club for like the longest, I think, than anyone else. Like I was here before Steven. I was here before Aaron, because my first event was breast cancer walk. Yeah.
Mine was breast cancer walk.
You know what? I
You
can't
didn't
tell
talk
you.
about breast
Oh.
cancer walk in his speech. You didn't listen.
No, of course I listened. I just forgot. Okay, so Key Club has definitely been one of the greatest parts of my high school experience. Like, the first event I went to, it was the breast cancer walk, and Al is actually here with me today. He went with me, and like 11 other like people. So like my first event, like I actually pulled up with like a lot of people. But like after that, I just started going to events by myself because nobody wanted to come to Key Club events with me anymore. So, and a lot of people might be like, oh damn, like that's sad, like, and lonely to go to an event by yourself. But there's like a certain kind of joy in going to an event by yourself, taking transportation by yourself, and just like watching the weirdest shit happen on the subway. Like just like the weirdest absolute things happen. It's like a certain kind of joy, right? It's like I'm so New York to like see some guy like pissing like in front of everybody on the train. Like experiences. So my favorite event was the Night Nation walk, but I didn't attend the most recent one. The last one was in my freshman year, so that was 3 years ago. And I remember coming home at like 12 a.m. that night because I got lost on the way, and I actually had to have a police officer like escort me to the bus stop. So I sat in the back of a police car without being arrested. Like, how cool is that, right? And I met this one Korean German lady, right? So she was like Chinese American Korean German, right? She was like a Korean lady living in Germany. Okay. And she was like, oh my gosh, there's Chinese Americans in America? And I was like you're literally Korean and living in Germany, like, wow, mind-blowing, huh? And there were not so good experiences too, right? Like, I remember this one summer stage event, and me and Matthew, like the vice president before me, we were just messing around with water bottles, and I remember like we were kicking it around, and it kind of exploded on this like one guy, right? And his wife. And he got really, really mad, right? So he's like, apologize, right? And he had a scary like African accent, like it was an African like music concert, right? So like everybody there was like African. And he just comes up to me, right? Big gold Cuban chain, right? And he's like, do you know who I am? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, like I don't, right? He's got a cup of beer in his hand too. Cause do you guys remember that event? Did you go? No? Oh, nobody went? It was called the Mr. Easy Summer Stage event. It was in Central Park.
Oh, was it like at where the central?
Yeah.
I remember it looked kind of different. It was too chaotic.
Oh yeah. And then he was like, well, I can be a very important person. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, apologize to my wife right now. And I was like, I was gonna do that. Like, you didn't have to like, you know, like come up to me like that. You're a grown man. And I was like a sophomore back then. And then everybody got kind of scared, right? Because he was yelling at me. And that was definitely like not one of the highlights of my like Key Club experience. But you know, at the end of the day, it's still an experience, and like I think that's what's most important about Key Club. It's like you get to experience all these different types of things, right? And like that just makes you into who you are, you know, in the future. So here's to all the people that I met in this club, to the friends that sometimes accompany me to events. To his credit, Alan hasn't been here in this whole year so far, right? Like hasn't been to a single Key Club meeting, but he showed up for my last one, yeah? And he used to go to Key Club events with me all the time, like back in freshman, sophomore year. So shout out to Alan. And also shout out to Aaron Wu. Aaron, you shouted him out too. Cause I remember I used to go to Key Club events by myself, and he's a senior, right? And he would just like, you know, pull you in, and like, I don't think I could do that. Like, I see freshmen nowadays, and I'm just like, you know, like, I'm not that inviting. So like, shout out to Aaron Wu. And to Miss Daly and Miss Mulick, Mr. Mulick, for being the best advisors ever. Like, I've been in other clubs and the other advisors don't give a shit. Like, kudos to Miss Daly. Like, she was helping us out when she was having her baby. Like, like a week before that, you were like typing up like award letters for us, right? So thank you for that. To Megan, no, president, like 3 presidents ago, who encouraged me to run for a co-head position. She actually wanted me to be public relations because I think nobody was running for that. But I chose projects instead, and she was like, oh, because I think she told other people to run for projects too. But I ended up getting that, so like, thank you to Megan. And thank you to the board that I worked with last year, Shiya, Laura, Steven, and Loretta, who's the president and not here. What?
She's taking a makeup.
She's taking a makeup? Is that what she said? Yeah. I bet she purposefully skipped that test so she wouldn't have to come. No view. To Jessica and Lucia, the fundraising co-heads, they're not here today, when I was the treasurer. And to my co-heads who are somewhat here, right? There's Chloe, I see Finley, Lynn over there, and Joanne, Melody, Mandy, and Chrissy. Chrissy gets a special shout out, right? Chrissy was the most hardworking co-head that I had, like truly. Her partner project co-head, unfortunately, I had to fire her because she wasn't doing anything, and Chrissy covered up for that. Chrissy, you know, did all her work on time, and yeah, I just really appreciate you for that because projects mean something to me, right? I was projects co-head in my freshman year, and the events and like the emails and all that, right? Oh, you don't have to cry, Chrissy. Now you're making me feel bad. You should record her crying so it makes me feel bad. So thank you to Chrissy. And as a future president of the club, which I know she will be, and like don't even dare run against her. Like I'm just saying that now. Like I'll come back in like 2 years, and like if she's not president and some like freshman decides to run and get all their friends to like pay their dues, like I'm just saying. So thank you guys. Thank you to our members who make this club what it is, right? Every year we are the largest club in the school, like for like years, right? For many, many years. And like first meeting, we always have like 300 something people pull up. So like that really shows you something, right? And I just wanted to say thank you for all the opportunities that this club has given me. Yeah, that's it. Shy's not a class.
I was expecting to be like sobbing.
She was, I saw her.
She was sobbing for Luke.
Okay.
No, she wasn't sobbing.
Allergies.
Allergies.
Okay,
Allergies.
no, sure. I don't have allergies.
Okay, so I wasn't originally going to do a farewell speech because I figured that there just wasn't enough time in the amount of time we had left this school year. But since it is tradition that every board member gives a farewell speech, including those that are currently juniors, And since Loretta's also filming her speech virtually since she couldn't make it in person, I think that I'm just going to give this a shot and film one as well. Okay, so I actually wrote part of my farewell speech right after the board switched over in April. So I'm going to read off of what I have, but I definitely did not write a lot because I wasn't expecting to give one. So I wrote, just this past weekend, we had our first board expectations meeting, exactly 12 hours and 28 minutes after we had our co-head decisions meeting. And 12 hours and 28 minutes sounds like a lot, but it was only enough time to sleep, wake up, and get 2 YouTube videos in. But immediately after that meeting, I had to start setting up folders for board introductions, award applications, and so much more. And when I went on to Messenger to see that Loretta had reminded me about setting up farewell speeches, I just immediately felt kind of emotional. But some of you might already know this, but I think I'm like the biggest fan of the Bronx Science Key Club YouTube channel. So of course, the first thing I started to do was jump through all of the old videos and started watching even from Amanda's presidential farewell speech all the way in 2013. Um, I hadn't even started writing my farewell speech yet, but just thinking back on it, I just started to cry because there was just so many things that I wanted to be able to say in this speech, yet so much that I also want to save for next year's speech when I give like I guess my official farewell since I'll actually be leaving. But I'll try my best to keep it to this year specifically. I just wanted to start off by saying that Key Club has done so much for me. I'm sure many of you can relate to this, but there were just a lot of times throughout this year when I like didn't want to go to school. And like of course Bronx Science is hard and like mental health is always an issue. But Key Club always made it better. And like especially over the pandemic, it's very easy for everyone to just say, oh, like I'm not feeling well today, so I'm not gonna go to school. But I really mean it when I say that Key Club was like the one thing that kept me going to school. Like just motivating myself and telling myself that like I can't get COVID or like I have to protect myself or I can't like pretend like I got COVID or anything like that. Because I have to make it for this Thursday's Key Club meeting. It was like this mindset of just make it one more week, one more week, one more week. And Key Club was like the main motivator that kept me going through all of that. And I don't think I should get into this, especially in a farewell speech, but a lot happened this year. And it wasn't always easy, but I think I definitely have Key Club to thank for helping me through all of that. And I feel like, okay, so at the beginning of this year, William kind of called me too emotional a few too many times. Um, and the rest of the board kind of got really upset at him in my defense. But thinking back on it all, I feel like he's definitely right. I think I am too emotional at some points, but it's not something that I'm exactly apologetic for. Sorry about the motorcycle. Um, but yeah, I will. I don't know. Think I'm okay with being emotional because it means that I get to show that I care and that you guys can see that I care as well. So here goes, I guess. To Laura, thank you for being such an amazing friend, first off, but also an amazing, I guess, coworker, scrapbook co-head, and web bulletin editor and webmaster. You are always really, really great with deadlines, and I know Loretta mentions that as well, but you really are. And I really, really wish that more people read your newsletters this year, because you put time into them, and I really feel like that should have gotten more recognition. Um, I'm really, really happy that you got into the University of Washington in Seattle because your family lives there, and I know how much you enjoyed being with them over that brief time over quarantine. And I just feel like the whole atmosphere and like being able to see cherry blossoms is just like right up your alley. It's definitely a very good environmental science program. So I hope that you'll be happy next year going off to college, and that you'll be able to find a lot of good places with good food spots and good people. I'm definitely going to miss you a lot. You were one of the wisest people I ever met, and I feel like people don't realize that when they first meet you or when they just see you at Key Club meetings, but you're so incredibly wise, and I feel like I'm going to miss a lot of your words of wisdom. To Stephen, I know that we really made it hard for you this year. Um, but while I was like going through a lot of the past Key Club files and YouTube videos and Instagram posts, um, I feel like I kind of saw you grow throughout your Key Club journey. And I know that I don't know if you know, but I feel like Mr. Mulek always had you in a special place in his heart. I feel like Mr. Mulek always had you in a special place in his heart because during your treasurer elections and like just in meetings in general, from what I remember in freshman year, I think he just really, really loved how genuinely happy you were all the time. And you are just like a very happy person. And I feel like your energy was definitely really appreciated throughout this year. And I just, I'm really, I don't know, I guess it's weird saying that I'm proud, but I'm kind of proud to see that you stayed happy from freshman year up until now. Um, During your farewell speech, you mentioned that this year has definitely been tough at times, and I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I'm also really happy that you were able to have so much fun in Key Club, and that, I don't know, that Key Club has served you well. Um, to William, uh, I don't even know where to get started. I feel like we definitely had a lot of like interesting moments throughout this year, to say the least. But I'm really glad that we were able to communicate and work them out. And as much as we make fun of you for having bad music taste, which you do, um, your presence and your help throughout this year was definitely really appreciated. I know that you do a lot of work as vice president, and that has never been underestimated. And despite all of our disagreements about how Key Club should be led and people should be, I guess, regarded in a professional setting, I definitely still learned a lot from you and your own ways of leadership that I've applied already as president. And then, of course, to Loretta, um, I don't know, just thank you so much for being there. I didn't realize how close we were going to get throughout this year, but I think you are the person that I'm going to miss the most. Um, I'm really sad that you weren't able to give your farewell speech in person. But even watching the video online, I like cried um within like the first, I don't know, minute of it. Um, but I don't know. I think Harvard is definitely the right place for you. And you're definitely going to have a hard time adjusting, but I hope that you'll be able to kind of rely on yourself throughout it all. But also, of course, you know, my DMs are always open if you want to chat again. Uh, but I know that you'll be great in college. Um, and I'm so, so proud of you for getting through everything, um, and for getting into such an amazing school. You definitely deserve it. I don't know. I'm just really proud of where you've gone this year. And I know that there were a lot of times when you thought that you weren't a great president. but I think everyone who's ever met you will refute that right away, including me. You are amazing and you taught me a lot. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm gonna miss you a lot. So, yeah. And besides the board, I also have some other people to thank. So, of course, to Ms. Daly and even Mr. Mulick. Even though Mr. Mulick is no longer an advisor for us this year, because he moved, he still talked sometimes on Discord, and it was really nice knowing that he still kept up with us. But of course, to Ms. Daly for helping so much as an advisor, even though she was pregnant and had a baby. I feel like I didn't realize how much she did until like towards the very end of the service here when I was like, oh my god, like Miss Daly is literally on maternity leave or going to be, and she's like helping us out so much. So thank you so much to Mr. Mulick and Miss Daly for being literally the best advisors ever. And also thank you to all the co-heads this year for doing such amazing work. Special thanks to Lynn, Chrissy, and Melody. Lynn was one of the first people. Oh my gosh, Discord. Lynn was Lynn was one of the first people that I ever met at Bronx Science, and she was also kind of the one who, I guess, coerced me into joining Key Club, and look at where that's gotten me now. But also like Lynn, your work ethic throughout this year, even though you might not agree and you might have thought that you were not doing enough or you were being lazy or anything like that, you really, really did like carry fundraising this year. You were so amazing, and I hope you realize that. To Chrissy, you carried projects. I think there's nothing else that we can say. Like your attitude towards everything is just so amazing, and I have a lot to learn from you as well. And I can't wait to work with you this year. And Melody, I don't know. I don't know what to say about Melody, but you definitely tried really, really hard this year. And I hope you realize that you deserve every position you get. And that, I don't know, I love you. Thanks for doing so much. And then a special thank oh my god, what? A special thank you to Scrapbook for, this is really weird, but for being so close and winning first place Scrapbook in the New York district. Jamwon and Finley, you guys were definitely not the first pair of co-heads that I thought were going to get close, but you guys got so close, and like it really drives home my love for Scrapbook because I was a Scrapbook co-head, but also like it really drives home my belief that Scrapbook is like the best committee because Scrapbook co-heads just get so close. I don't know what to say. You guys worked so hard, and because Laura and I worked so hard on our scrapbook, it really makes me proud to see how close you guys got while working together, but also outside of it all. And of course, thank you to everyone who cared so much about Key Club this year, and for making it great even over quarantine. I know there was that scare of us disbanding a few weeks ago, but that's like, I don't know. If anything, I feel like it made me realize just how many people knew about Key Club and how many people cared about us being an established club at Bronx Science. So like, thank you to everyone who even was surprised about us quote unquote disbanding. You guys really warmed my heart to see so many people care. And there are so many people who have never like met me as a person or have been super close to me who have inspired me along the way, including our past boards and even boards who were there before I was even in Bronx Science. And while I do think that I have a little bit too much of a love for Key Club and the legacy that we've had at Bronx Science, I don't think that it's a love that I'll ever be ashamed of. So I don't know. thank you so much to everyone who's been in this Key Club journey so far. Thank you to the past board, especially Loretta, William, Stephen, and Laura. You guys are definitely going to be missed. Oh my god, I'm also gonna miss all the seniors this year, especially Luke and Aaron. I'm sorry I didn't talk about you guys, but I'm sure you know how important you guys have been to me and also to the club. But yeah, I'm gonna miss you guys. Thank you so much, and I hope we stay in contact. Please stay in contact. Bye.
Hey Key Club, how do you feel? Not going to lie, I personally feel a little sad because this is my farewell speech, so that means that I'm going to be saying goodbye to the club. I wish I could be here in person to say all these words to you, but at least we have technology, so I can say some parting words before I leave. Key Club was the first club that I've ever joined at Bronx Science, and so I'm so happy to see how much this club has grown. We have had 123 members this service year, and Key Club remains to be one of the biggest clubs in Bronx Science. Key Club is so special to me because being a part of it isn't based on your athleticism, your intelligence, or your public speaking skills, or really anything. Being a Key Clubber simply means just trying your best to embody our 4 core values of leadership, caring, inclusiveness, and character building. Being a Key Clubber is being an active part of our communities and having compassion for people from all walks of life. I want to start off my speech by saying the biggest thank you to our most important people in our club, which are our members. You guys have raised over $6,700 for multiple charities like Black Lives Matter, Think Chinatown, Alex's Lemonade Stand, and the Thirst Project, and that's just saying a few. And you guys did a total of over 12,700 service hours. I think this is like the first year in a really long time that we reached both goals, and so I'm so proud to say that that was all you. And you know, just being a part of like meetings and seeing you guys so excited for our service projects and so motivated to do amazing things for our world and our communities and our society has been so inspiring. And even though you guys are all younger than me, just, you know, seeing you guys every week at events or our meetings was the thing that was keeping me pushing. And so all of this is you all. So thank you so much. And I hope that you guys continue to come to Key Club, you know, for the next few years, because it's a really special place and you're gonna meet a lot of amazing people. So stick in there. For the old board, to William, I would like to say thank you for being so reliable and an incredible help to me this year. I appreciate the length that you've gone to really be there for not only the club, but also for me. You were like the best vice president that a president could ask for. You made my job a lot easier, and you know, I really appreciate how many times, you know, you've given me help, and just all in all, thank you so much. To Shiya, I'm so excited to see what you do next service year, and I have so much to learn from you. You know, even though you were my secretary, you know, I saw how passionate you were about your work and about Key Club and about service, and you know, it also really motivated me to do the best job that I could, and I have like no doubt that you're gonna lead this club to so much success and just really drive home inclusiveness and family and bonding, and you know, just making everyone feel welcomed. And so, you know, to the new board as well, I'm so excited to see what you guys do, and you know, I wish nothing but the best. To Stephen, I would like to say thank you for, you know, allowing our club to reach our fundraising goal this year. I know the task wasn't easy, given that we just came back from quarantine, and so, you know, with all the waves that we had with COVID, but you know, you were able to, you know, reach our fundraising goal, which was phenomenal. Your happy energy lifts my mood every single time that I talk to you, and it's so apparent to me that you love, you people and culture and life and family, and I've always looked up to you for that. So thank you so much for being a part of our board this year. To Laura, I would like to say thank you for being a wonderful bulletin editor and webmaster. You've always been very good at deadlines and making my life a lot easier by meeting them. But more importantly, thank you so much for being my best friend at Bronx Science. You've given me so much advice throughout these years, and whether it's related to Key Club or not, I love you and I'm so grateful to know you, and I'm going to miss your words of wisdom and understanding and accepting presents every single day. To our co-heads who are the backbone of this club, Chrissy, Henry, Lynn, Annie, Chloe, Melody, Rebecca, Finley, Jongwon, Mandy, and Adam. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Literally, what would our club be without you guys? With down to like every single detail in the emails, a big portion of it, the majority, is because of our co-heads and their dedication and hard work. Each one of you guys made our service year so amazing, and I cannot say enough how grateful I am that you guys were so committed and worked so well together, and all in all, I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to be there to really help the board make this service year what it was. Shout out to the seniors who have stuck along the way, Aaron, Jessica, Luke, and Molly. And I just wanted to say a few things that I've learned as a Key Clubber. One, people make life meaningful, and so, bring your loved ones and tell them that you love them every single day if you can, or as often as you can. Two, like everything in life, you need to put in effort to see it grow. And so this applies to relationships and friendships. Sometimes you need to be the one who reaches out, or be the one who starts the conversation. Three, you can't always control what's going on around you, but you can decide how you respond. So whether this means standing up for a cause that you believe in or for yourself, you have the power to do whatever you want. And so if you want to see change in this world, you can make that happen. Last, I'm sending good luck to you guys, and I'm wishing all the best for this club. I want to see, messages to me, and I still want to keep in contact with you all. And hopefully this isn't just a goodbye. This is a see you later. Bye, guys.
Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to say, Key Club will. Aww.
Yay! Living up to your promises, crying.
Good job.
We can all read it.
Aww.
Key Club will seriously miss you guys.
Okay, that's it.